Hello and welcome again to another edition of the Blakes Brothers Show. I'm Robert Blakes, better known as R.C. Blakes. What's your name?
And I am Samuel Blakes, better known as Samuel Blakes.
Well, we've been answering questions and we have really been enjoying it. We're sitting in our mother's home. This is where we spent our teenage years into adulthood, right here at this table, and not this specific table, but in this kitchen, in this home. And so we want to just jump right in again today. Question number one, are y'all really brothers? I love this show. It's obvious that your parents did a good job of raising y'all. How do I do the same thing with my boys? They are 10 and 12, and this is Shamika.
Wow. First of all, thank you. And secondly, yes, we are really brothers. We are really brothers. We have fought like brothers and argued like brothers and all of the above. And we were raised in the same home by the same mother and same father. I think just love your children, man. Love your children. Our experience of being brought up by parents was a very loving experience.
Absolutely.
And a very nurturing experience, and disciplined at the same time.
Instilling principles and values, you know, and when you think about instilling, you say your boys, Shamika says her boys are 10 and 12. Instilling principles and values, and see, at this age, it is imperative that certain things are reinforced, that you don't only say certain things, but you reinforce certain things in terms of your boys' understanding of what manhood is. And I would add that you have to just really intentionally instill principles and values into your boys. You know, see, our father taught us, our mother taught us from early on who we were, how we were to behave. There was even a vision given to us of what our future would look like.
Certainly.
And we're living that vision out now. And it was really the words of our father. The principles were taught, laid down, not only spoken, but reinforced. You know, dad and mom would say, okay, this is what I want you to do. And then they would make certain that they came behind us to make certain that we were complying with their instructions. Raising boys is it has to be a very intentional, specific, and diligent process to really shape them, to mold them into a certain mindset as young men. You're really not raising boys, you're raising men. They just happen to be at boy stage now. Hopefully their father's involved, you know, in their lives. Hopefully Shamika's not a single mother, like unfortunately a lot of women are. But if you are a single mother, it's not necessarily a sign that, or doesn't say that you can't succeed. There are a lot of women, single mothers, who have raised strong young men, but it's always been intentional, always been purposeful. It's always been a diligent process where the mother teaches certain things and reinforces certain things relative to faith, relative to how you treat people, relative to how you live your life.
Well, and as a mother, one of the greatest things you have to do, particularly with raising boys, is you have to teach them respect. You have to teach them respect, because at a certain point, they're going to be bigger than you, they're going to be stronger than you, but if that respect factor is embedded in them, they'll never dishonor you. Our mother is probably 4'3" with heels on. And I don't think that there are any sons who are more respectful of their mothers than we are.
That's right.
Simply because we were taught, should I say, to respect her, and that it was just instilled in us.
Yeah, and if the father is not involved in the boys' lives, I would suggest to you that you put them in an environment where there are strong men to help you to raise these boys, because young boys need to be accountable to a man.
Can I say one more thing about this? The greatest tool I think our mother and father gave to us was the tool of expectation. They told us what they expected of us. They told us we were Blakes.
And demanded it.
And they demanded that we produced. And I think, every man needs to have a demand.
That's right.
On his life.
Question 2.
Question 2. I'm having trouble managing my money. I can never seem to get ahead financially. I'm educated. I have a college degree and a master's degree. People love me at work and I keep getting promoted. But every time I get more money, it seems like I'm still struggling financially. I need to get a handle on this. Please help me. Karen.
Well, education does not mean wisdom.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, today we have just a whole generation of young professionals who are making 6 figures and are broke.
Right.
6 figures, bad credit. And I think it's due to the fact that a lot of times we buy into this myth that success, is equivalent to what kind of car or cars you have, or what your address is, or what kind of shoes you're wearing, or what kind of clothing you have. And we never really tap into the wisdom of many of our foreparents, that generation before ours, that came out of sometimes Mississippi and didn't have a high school education, but somehow learned how to have good credit, learned how to own their own property, and may not have, driven around in a Bentley,
right,
but had some money in the bank. I think you have to do some internal observation, because there's clearly something wrong in your own soul. And I call it mascara therapy, when you use your resources to paint this image around yourself, to bring about a certain sense of fulfillment that, is really covering up what's empty on the inside. A full closet many times is the indication of an empty heart.
Well, I think what has happened is many people have bought into this consumer's mentality. We are living in a superficial society, so everything is about what you have on, what you wear, the name tag that's in your shirt or your bag, and consequently we have people walking around with $500 bags, but they don't have $5 in them.
Yeah.
Because we don't. My father would say, we know the cost of everything but the value of nothing.
Wow.
We know the cost of everything but the value of nothing. And what a valuable experience it is, man, to be able to look at your money and see it grow.
Yeah, yeah.
To be able to look at your resources and see them grow. Incidentally, most of us, all we know is our wardrobe is growing, or, we got a bigger car, we got a bigger house, we got a bigger this, but we got a smaller bank account.
Absolutely.
So we look like $1 million, but we're not worth a dime.
I think in the case of Karen here, I think some practical steps might be to really look at your lifestyle. Something like a budget might be a great place to start. I think a budget is just a real clear view of your financial habits. And I think you'll find that you're wasting a lot of money on things that you really don't need. And I think a good goal would be to begin to eliminate those unnecessary things from your financial life. And a greater goal would be to get yourself to a place where you're living on a certain percentage of your income, and where you can really see X amount of, or a certain percentage of your income going to savings, going to retirement or whatever, because you're getting older faster than you realize. And making yourself accountable to some kind of financial counselor. Everybody laughs at me when I talk about counselors, but we all need counsel. The Bible says that there's safety in the multitude of counsel. Finding some kind of financial counselor that can help you to get this on track. You may be the president of the United States. It doesn't mean that you know how to manage money. And sometimes we need help. You can be smart in this, brilliant in that, and a complete idiot in another area. And with the matters of finances, sometimes that is just the case more times than not. So you need someone that can help you to put it together, because you don't want to spend all of your working years and have nothing for your retirement years.
And, particularly within the confines of the church, we're always talking about financial miracles, financial miracles. But most of us don't need financial miracles. We need financial management.
Yeah, discipline. The purpose of a miracle is to get you out of a situation. And then once God gets you out of the situation with the miracle, you should then seek wisdom and knowledge and understanding so that you're not put in that position. If you need a financial miracle every year, something's wrong with you.
Right. Exactly.
So that's my take on it. I know clearly you need a budget and you need some counseling. You need some a financial therapist. So I've enjoyed this today.
It's been wonderful, man. Thank you all so much. Send your questions in. You'll see the email address at the bottom of your screen. God
we love you, and we are the Blakes brothers.
Thank you.